Hey guys, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking this week at a couple sources of power all throughout the game. Today we're going to look at the legs. All right, so what I'm going to do to start the day, you guys, is just kind of give you that picture of something that's in my head that I think is very helpful when we think about the legs adding power to the game, and that's the idea of like a little spring. Okay, if I took a small spring and pushed it down and then released my fingers, that thing would explode up and expand, right? And that's kind of the idea we want to have with our legs. Whereas I bend down for any shot, whether it be serve or forehand or backhand, whatever it is, it's that idea that I'm a spring and I'm loading up to be able to expand out through the shot. So I think the two main shots where the legs are really, really helpful though are the serve and the forehand side, okay? So we're going to look at the serve first. I think the main idea I want you guys to have when you're serving with the knee bend is to put the focus on the left leg. All right, when you guys go into your setup, a lot of times, I'll see just a slight dip with both knees and therefore not a huge move up to the ball, okay? So focusing on the left knee because that's the one that's closer to contact. If this guy goes low, it's going to give us a really good chance to thrust up to the serve and get that high point of contact and the ability to hit down into the court. All right, so here we go. Let's watch this serve. Focus in on that left knee. Let's go one more. Yeah, and again, I think if I do that wrong, Mark, you got one more ball for me? If I do that wrong, you guys, meaning that I'm not bending my knees a lot, again, the serve becomes way more about the arm, and there's not a lot of power that you guys are going to find when you're just arming your serve. Okay, so let's start to really dip that left knee down specifically. When you guys go up to hit that serve, I think there's a lot of power that's not being used because this left knee is not getting low enough. Okay, so on to the forehand now. Very similar idea. Okay, when I load up that forehand, the right side is the side I'm trying to set into to be able to explode off. All right, so what I like to do, what I like to think about is have my left knee really get down close to the ground. Okay, I think you'll see a lot of pros, they might have that left knee maybe 6 inches off the ground. I'm a little bit taller, so if I exaggerate it, my left knee's still probably a foot off the ground. But I think you guys get the picture that if I set like this, I've got a really good ability to thrust out of that kind of seated position and throw myself up into that follow through. That really is what is the start of the kinetic chain, if you guys are familiar with that term. I'm getting force from the ground up, okay? So let's take a look at a forehand real quick where I'm not getting that left side down close to the ground. I think you guys get the idea that I'm not going to create a huge amount of power without that left leg dipping down, and if I do, it's because the technique probably got bad and I went into a slap mode, which might create power, but I'm not going to be able to control that. All right, so let's look at that left knee now. You guys can see I can't even help but pretty much jump a little bit because I feel so loaded up like that spring idea, and therefore able to really thrust up and create power without having to get wild in my stroke, okay? So the legs, yes, I'm even a little out of breath right there because I'm making such an attempt to use them correctly. So I think you guys will find not only will you create power by using the legs more, you guys are going to get in better shape because it takes a little bit more out of you to get the legs as involved as we just saw, okay? So that's all I got for you today. Coming later in the week, we got a couple other videos focusing on a few other sources of power. Look for those as well. But until then, please click like below this video. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.